Alright, how are you? We're making bread. So, just use the measurements that I gave you. I'm gonna do wholemeal this time. I'm gonna do a 30% wholemeal, but the one that I made you was 50% rye flour. So, I've just got the normal white flour going in, and I'm just gonna do a rough estimate of 70% or 66, 2/3. So I've just weighed out about, if you want to try 30%, I've just used 440 grams of the white. Now I'm going to top up the rest of the weight with the wholemeal flour to make up to 675. And now we want 3 teaspoons of salt. One teaspoon of yeast. And just grab your whisk and give it a good mix. Just so there's no big clumps of salt or yeast. So that's looking pretty good now. And then tear your scale. And we want 525 mils of water. Tepid, or so I've done it with just cold before, but I feel like tepid works better. This is all cold water in here, so just gonna add some warm water from here to make it, a bit more room temperature. And now we'll give it a good mix. Make sure you scrape up all the dough from the bottom. Try to get it nicely incorporated. And you should end up with the dough looking like this. And what I usually do, just cover it with a plate, come back tomorrow. Okay, so it's the next day. It's been about 18.5 hours. So we'll just take a look at our dough. Hopefully yours looks a bit like that, a bit jiggly. Sometimes I flour the surface, but I'm not going to worry about it today. You get a scraper and just turn it out onto the bench. And it'll look something like that. I'll just put a bit of water in here. It's just on my hands so the dough doesn't stick. We just sort of want to lift it up, fold it onto itself, develop the gluten a bit. And I usually press it down and give it a couple more folds. At this point, that's pretty much it. But if you want to work it a bit more, that's entirely up to you. I might just give it one more. So just push it down. I flip it onto where the seam was. Just give it a roll. Give it a roll. Grab your big scraper. Just form it into the shape that you want. I've got an oval Benetton that I've lightly dusted. We'll just dust the top a bit. Get the scraper and just roll it onto itself and then put it into the Benetton. You can lightly dust the top. Give it a little pat. And just try and pinch the seams shut. You don't have to worry about it too much. I usually don't. Give it a little pat. And we're just gonna let that rest for 1 hour before we bake it. Now that it's been an hour, you can see that it's proofed up quite big. And we're just gonna grab the Dutch oven and put it in. So this has been preheating at 220 degrees Celsius for 40 minutes. Let's grab this and chuck it in. I didn't flour it enough, obviously. Got a bit stuck, but still looks pretty good. And I usually slash it pretty deep. Now we'll bake it for 30 minutes with the lid on and then 15 minutes with the lid off. Yep, that's done. And now we'll take the lid off. Oh yeah, looks pretty good. Send it back up. And 15 more minutes. So the additional 15 minutes is up and this is what we've got. So we're just gonna turn it out onto here. I like to give it a little tap. Should sound hollow. And just make sure you let it rest for about an hour before you cut into it.